Burger King is releasing a new spicy version of their popular King burgers. I've got all the details plus my own analysis. Yes, hello and welcome to New Fast Food. Today we're also going to be talking about a new test item from McDonald's. It's the French Toast McGriddles. Plus I've got new details on that caramel apple freeze that's coming to Taco Bell that we've been talking about for months. If this is your first time tuning in, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Plus you'll also want to hit that notification bell, so therefore you'll always be notified when I release new videos. Let's jump right into it, as I'm very excited about this new burger coming to Burger King. It's the Jalapeno King, and it's a spicy version of the popular King burgers at Burger King. Now I've heard a couple of different dates on this one, but I'm pretty sure that the official launch date for this Jalapeno King is going to be August 16th. So that is this Thursday. So remember, you heard about it here on New Fast Food a couple of days before it was revealed to the public. The new Jalapeno King has jalapenos, of course, but also bacon, pepper jack cheese, and a green pepper aioli sauce. Now, aioli sauces traditionally are a mixture of olive oil and garlic, but the term has been sort of broadened into nowadays it can pretty much just mean mayo as well. So I would expect this green pepper aioli just to be like a green pepper mayo, really. I don't think it's going to be a real traditional style aioli sauce. It probably has the minimum amount of garlic or olive oil in it to be able to call itself an aioli sauce, but it's pretty much just expect a green pepper mayo on here. This is very similar to the Jalapeno Sourdough King that I reported being tested way back in March. That was way back before the Sourdough King was even introduced. But now we've had, pretty much a whole line of sourdough burgers released. Now they're getting back into just the regular King burgers, and we have this new Jalapeno King, which is, like I said, very similar to that sourdough version. The sourdough Jalapeno King, though, did not come with bacon. So that, and of course the type of buns being used, are the difference between that Jalapeno Sourdough King that was tested earlier this year and this new official Jalapeno King that's being released nationwide. Now, of course, when Burger King releases a King burger, it's available in several different forms. The standard version, if you just walk up and order a Jalapeno King, you're going to get the double burger version. I've already talked ad nauseum about how it's a little bit sneaky of them to make the double version of their King burgers the standard version. So I'm not going to get into that anymore. But just know that you can also get the Jalapeno King in the single burger version if you ask for it. I think you save $1 if you do it that way. And then it's also available in the spicy chicken version. Okay, so overall, I'm pretty excited about this one. I can't say that there's a lot of creativity being put into it because, when you have a jalapeno burger, I'd say obviously the minimum you have to have on it is jalapenos. Typically, you also have pepper jack cheese on it. Bacon, sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. But I wouldn't say that that's real creative. And they have this green pepper aioli sauce, which, like I said, is probably just a mayo that has some crushed up, maybe even bell peppers, who knows, some kind of green peppers in there to make it so they can call it a green pepper aioli sauce. I really don't think that's going to have too much of a flavor. So yeah, just my love of spicy things is what has me attracted to this Jalapeno King. If you're a fan of spicy burgers, this one's probably right in your wheelhouse. It'd be interesting to see if they do eventually come out with the sourdough version of it, right? They still sell the Sourdough King, so really, you could probably even ask for this Jalapeno King on a sourdough toast. So it'd be interesting to see if they do eventually actually come out with a jalapeno sourdough king, or if they're just banking on people asking for sourdough to create their own. Either way, it's the Jalapeno Sourdough King. You heard about it here first on New Fast Food. Okay, McDonald's is testing a brand new item. This one's not available nationwide, as it is only testing. It's testing right now in 200 locations in the Minnesota area. So if you live in that area, you're in luck. You can run out and get the French Toast McGriddle at participating McDonald's. And this particular test item, obviously it's a breakfast item. It's meant to be a larger, heartier breakfast sandwich for McDonald's. So, a lot of other fast food restaurants have sort of a premium breakfast sandwich that's sort of, that is really filling. McDonald's really doesn't have that. They have the McMuffins, the McGriddles, and all those are, comparatively to some other restaurants, sort of on the smaller side. So this French Toast McGriddle is meant to be a bigger breakfast sandwich to compete with those. And on it, you see it has egg, cheese, sausage, and bacon. So it's the only breakfast sandwich on the McDonald's menu that has both sausage and bacon. And then the French toast buns, if you will, they're brushed with maple syrup. And I actually kind of have a problem with that. So when the McGriddles came out, you know, I don't know, over 15 years ago now, the whole idea behind them was that the syrup was baked into the bun, into the bread. And I was really under the impression that having the syrup baked into the bread was what made it a McGriddle sandwich. In fact, that was the big selling point when the McGriddles came out, was that you know, you have the syrup baked into the bread. So now, you know, it's been a long time since we had any change to the McGriddles. I don't know if we've ever even had a new kind of McGriddle bread. So this may be the first new McGriddle bread that we're getting since the inception of McGriddles, and I'm very disappointed to see that the syrup is not baked into the French toast. That for me, I just assumed when I saw the picture of it, I just assumed that the syrup would be baked into the French toast, which is a great idea. I don't know why they wouldn't try to do that. Maybe they did try to do it. You know, the McGriddles. I remember reading a while back that it took them some ridiculous amount of time. Like it was like 4, 6, 8 years, something like that. I think it was around 6 years of testing and research to get the recipe for the McGriddle bread right. So maybe they just didn't have enough time for this French toast McGriddle, or maybe they want to test it out a little bit to see if it's worth putting in that extra research time. You know, and if it becomes popular, they'll go back to the drawing board and try to get that maple syrup baked into the French toast. I think that's going to be a must. I think if they roll this out nationwide and the syrup is not baked into the French toast, I think that is a McGriddle killer in this case, a McKiller. But if I can move past that point for a moment, if I can just forget about the fact that the syrup is being brushed on instead of baked in, I will say that this is actually a pretty interesting sandwich for McDonald's. I am a fan of French toast. And I think that they are in need of a larger breakfast sandwich. So I think this is actually a pretty good item as far as that goes. And because I am a fan of French toast, I would be excited to try this one out. But I just have to say that it would be much more intriguing if they were to somehow get that syrup baked into the French toast. Really, I mean, maybe it's some kind of special syrup that they're using that's not going to, you know, kind of ooze out and get your hands all sticky, because I think that's the main advantage of having the syrup baked in, is that your hands don't get sticky from having the syrup run all over them. So I don't know. Well, we'll see. If you're in the Minnesota area and you're able to try these out, let me know what you think about it. Let me know if you think that it would be improved by having the syrup baked in, or does it not really matter that the syrup is just brushed on. Either way, it's the French Toast McGriddles, testing now at select McDonald's in the Minnesota area. Alright, next up, let's talk about Taco Bell. Just a reminder, this Thursday is, of course, August 16th. In addition to Burger King launching that Jalapeno King burger, Taco Bell is also going to be launching a new product. We've talked about it a couple of times before on this channel. It's the Double Cheesy Gordita Crunch. That also launches this Thursday, August 16th. Also on that same day, Taco Bell is releasing the $2 steak breakfast stacker. And then we've just found out that the caramel apple freeze has been moved up and will now also be released during this August promotional period for Taco Bell. So we talked about the caramel apple freeze way back in March on this channel. At that time, I was pegging it with an October release date. And then I think we talked about it again later, earlier this summer, and we talked about it having a September release date. Now, what we're hearing is that due to the watermelon freeze being not as popular as Taco Bell expected, they're moving up the release date of this caramel apple freeze, and it's going to be available as part of these new August promotions launching on August 16th. I would expect that probably not all Taco Bells are going to receive this exactly on August 16th because the way the freezes work is that they likely have a bunch of watermelon freeze still in their freeze machine, and so they won't introduce this new caramel apple version until that watermelon freeze is gone. Some stores it's already gone and they'll be getting the caramel apple freeze on Thursday, most likely. But in a lot of other stores, especially if the watermelon freeze wasn't that popular, are just going to have to wait until that flavor is gone, and then they'll be able to pour in the new caramel apple freeze. So the way this one works, we talked about it, like I said, earlier this summer, but it's basically the freeze portion is apple flavored, and then they're going to squirt in some caramel sauce into the bottom of the cup, maybe a little bit in the middle of the cup as well, and that's where you're going to get that caramel flavor from. So it's going to be a mixture of the two, similar to how this last watermelon freeze had the candy seeds in it. This one's going to have a caramel syrup mixed in with the apple freeze. So that's going to be released as early as this Thursday. This was recently confirmed by our friends over at livingmoss.com. Again, if you haven't checked out their website, then go ahead and do so. They are pretty much the go-to source for any kind of Taco Bell news that you're looking for. They're a fan website. They've got a lot of good Taco Bell information, and they've been really good friends to the new fast food YouTube channel. So go ahead and check them out. So again, this Thursday is the release date for the caramel apple freeze, the $2 steak breakfast stacker, and the double cheesy gordita crunch. And lastly, I've got a bit of an update for you on the Froot Loops donuts, which I talked about being tested earlier this year at Carl's Jr. locations. I received some information from a viewer of mine who told me that they were able to confirm that the Froot Loops donuts are now being shipped out to Hardee's locations in the North Carolina area. So I haven't been able to confirm this with my contacts from North Carolina yet, so let's chalk this one up to a rumor as of now, but it does seem like a rumor that does have some legs to it, so it'll be interesting to see if those Froot Loops donuts start showing up in Hardee's in the North Carolina area later this week or maybe later this month. And additionally, if we start seeing the Froot Loops donuts show up at Hardee's and Carl's Jr. across the nation very soon as well. Right now, I'm chalking this up to being a rumor that the Froot Loops donuts are in the process of being rolled out. So that's today's fast food news. Thank you very much for going over it with me. Be sure to share your thoughts on anything we talked about down below. And as always, you can check out more videos right now.